Okay, so hello. Um, my name is Kaser Butler, and this is my presentation on Quentin Tarantino. I'm going to refer to him as Tarantino through the rest of the thing because I don't like the name Quentin, to be honest. Just, just a mouthful of a name, to be honest. So his background and career. He was born to a young nursing student mother in 1963. Um, and his father just left before he was born. He gets his name from his father, and when he was still just a toddler, he and his mother moved to California in the LA area, where he grew up surrounded by pop culture and where he grew to love movies from an early age. He made his first movie, Reservoir Dogs, in 1992 when he was 28, and then Pulp Fiction in 1994, which is a massive success and stapled him as a Hollywood icon to this day. I don't know. I don't know if he's a Hollywood icon anymore. I don't know if there's much weight in Hollywood as much anymore. Maybe that's just a me thing. Maybe that's a me thing, and I just stopped caring about like mainstream actors as much, or and like film stuff. Um, Anyways, his latest and ninth movie is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Um, he claims to be making one last 10th movie, which I don't even think the trailer's out yet for. I don't know if there's any information about that one so far, but apparently it's his last. He doesn't want to be like I think Steven Spielberg or something said he was going to make movies until the day he died, or whatever, and he said specifically he doesn't want to be like that, I guess. So, I don't know, that's interesting. Um, Tarantino consistently has themes relating to glamorous or dramatic violence, hierarchies, deception, and identity. There are themes relating to identity in Reservoir Dogs, Django Unchained, and The Hateful Eight. His most common stylistic and thematic choices are related to his intense and over-the-top action or violence. Movies like Django Unchained, the Kill Bill movies, Reservoir Dogs, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood all have um, this, this iconic, exaggerated violence of a Tarantino film. He loves exaggerated gore, like the torture scene in Reservoir Dogs, the absurd amounts of blood spraying out of people in Kill Bill, the utter chaos in the final, and the other utter chaos in the final scene of Django Unchained. Um, he also, at least in the beginning of his career, favored non-linear storytelling through constant flashbacks and time jumps. Um, his His gore is always beyond just exaggeration. It's just like completely out of, just completely unrealistic. For example, in Reservoir Dogs, Mr. Orange is shot like one time and he bleeds about a pool's worth of blood on the floor and is still alive somehow. And same goes for pretty much every character in Kill Bill who dies. They'll have their arm like cut off by a katana, and then there's blood gushing and spraying everywhere like it's a fire hose for like 5 minutes straight, and they're still running around and like alive. But that's like the charming character of Tarantino almost. For the first movie going over is Reservoir Dogs. It's his first movie ever, and it has themes of identity, trust, criminal loyalty, and betrayal. From the very first scene, we are introduced to a cast of men wearing matching suits, having a debate about tipping, while using call signs to hide their identities and protect themselves. We learn that this group of individuals are professional criminals who are plotting a heist together under the leadership of Joe and nice guy Eddie. When plans go awry, there are instantly fingers pointed with suspicion of a cop being amongst them. Mr. Orange, a character who had been shot during the plan gone wrong, escapes with Mr. White to a safe house where they plan to regroup. As the criminals reach the safe house separately, distrust eats the group away, with Mr. White consistently looking out for Mr. Orange. When conflict leaves them to be the only ones left standing, Mr. Orange reveals he was the cop, and Mr. White kills him in betrayal. In the movie, Mr. Orange is a character made to be very likable to the audience, embodying a completely fake identity and blending in with the criminals until the final betrayal scene. The scene is so impactful that even though we root for Mr. Orange, we feel bad for Mr. White, who just put his life on the line for a fake person. The second movie, Pulp Fiction, is the second movie in his career. He made this, as mentioned earlier, in 1994, and the movie was a nonlinear massive hit, and it launched his career into, it put him in front of people. And the first theme in this to talk about is redemption, which is portrayed by the gunman Jules, played by Samuel Jackson, a common recast in Tarantino films. He nearly avoids being shot, and he considers this to be divine intervention. And at the end of the movie, he claims he is putting his life of crime to stop so that he can redeem himself and walk the earth. His redemption is put to the test in that same scene when the diner he's eating in is being held up, and he chooses to teach the criminal a lesson rather than killing him. Even though he easily could, obviously. And the scene makes that very clear. The second theme I had interpreted was involving revenge or restitution. A character in the movie Butch cannot put his ego behind him to lose a paid-off rigged fight, and he ends up killing his opponent, his storyline is him running away from the man he crossed, Marcellus Wallace, until they are both captured by sex freaks, which is a odd turn in the movie that I don't think anybody saw coming, and Butch saves Marcellus, effectively repaying his debt. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a movie that kind of irks me, and the main theme I took away from this movie is about friendship. And the movie just feels unresolved in that regard. The two main characters are Rick Dalton, who is a high-profile actor looking to make a comeback, and Cliff Booth, Rick's stunt double. I guess he's not really high-profile as much as he used to be. Throughout the movie, it feels like their friendship revolves around Rick, and Cliff gets almost nothing other than a job sometimes from the friendship. Cliff does everything for Rick, and it makes their friendship seem horrible to me. Scenes like when Rick goes to Italy to film a bunch of movies, and Cliff carries all of their luggage, literally all of it, when he drives Rick everywhere because Rick lost his license, and when Cliff sits down to watch Rick's new appearance on TV and support him and say nothing but good things. Cliff does nothing but support Rick, and Rick does nothing for Cliff. The closeness of their friendship is very hard to believe. And at the end of the movie, Cliff basically prevents Rick from literally dying. And if Cliff hadn't been there, Rick would probably have died, and all he gets is like, do you want me to come to the hospital with you? No. Okay. I'm not even gonna, I guess I just won't. And that just seems really unfulfilling to me, and I don't like it. Importance and influence on cinema. He influenced the creation of more non-linear storytelling with his main hit Pulp Fiction and others like Reservoir Dogs. He influenced and heavily affected the independent filmmaking landscape. He had strong influence on the director's cameos appearing in nearly all of his movies in small roles. He made almost satirical-looking stylistic violence filmmaking not seen before. I really love the non-linear and ultra-violent style of movies. His latest movie really did not sit right with me. Reservoir Dogs felt dumb on my first watch. The main thing I really appreciate about him is the fact his first and second movie likely inspired other people to independently create their own films that had their own crazy style to them. I really appreciate his candidness in the script writing, which may be a product of his time, but it's cool to feel like the scenes are accurate even though it's a touchy subject like in Django. Lastly, I am definitely biased towards him. Tarantino is my favorite director because most of the time I watch him is with friends, and it's a super fun time. Watching a movie like Kill Bill with the over-the-top gore and ridiculous lines is a really fun and memorable time, and I feel closer to the people after the movies. The most inspiring thing about Tarantino, or the most surprising thing about Tarantino, after learning so much about him, is that he once worked at an adult theater before his filmmaking career blew up. This is extra funny because there is a scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where the characters Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton notice an adult film premiere going on down the road as they enter a restaurant and bar, and they actually make some funny comment like, "Who knew that happened?" Anyways, I have like 3 minutes to submit this, so I'm gonna do that now.